In Sri Lanka, the industry's been one of the country's biggest export earners since British colonial rulers introduced it to the island 150 years ago. But the Tamil workers, who are the driving force behind the tea industry, have seen little of the profits. Tony Birtley reports from the highlands of Nurelia.
This is the Great Western Range in the highlands of central Sri Lanka. Nearly 2,000 metres high, beautiful green hills, perfect conditions for growing tea. As the colonial rulers, the British brought tea to Sri Lanka 150 years ago. The empire drank tea picked in these plantations, and they made huge profits, but not for the locals.
Nobody colonizes a country to make the people richer. They had to become richer. But now it is our responsibility to go out, see, I have in my own small way shown the rest of the world that we can market our own crops.
The British also brought the workers, tens of thousands of Tamils from India. Their labour helped make Sri Lanka become what it is today, the biggest exporter of tea in the world. Although colonial rule ended 60 years ago, some tea pickers are still being exploited, but this time by Sri Lankan owners. These women have to pick 18 kilos of tea every day, 25 days a month, 10 hours a day, and for that they qualify for a minimum payment of $1.60 per day. Anything over 18 kilos and they can get 10 cents per kilo. The good ones can pick something like 30 kilos in a day, but the vast majority fall way short of that. In addition to the minimum wage, they receive housing, healthcare and basic education. But there is a huge disparity in the quality of these services. Behind these women, a collection of shacks, plantation-provided accommodation, loosely described as homes.
There are lines of rooms, and the whole family lives in one room. Now, many of those places are much better, but there are places where the people make huge losses. Life is very, very difficult for them.
Dilma Tea has a foundation which improves conditions for its workers, but that's not the case for some others. Difficulty for Papati is normal life. She's 56 years old. She started working in the plantations when she was 11. She's had 5 children, all of them worked in the plantations. She has 5 grandchildren, and their future too is picking tea.
It's very hard work. I must pick the tea leaves and carry the sack on my head. It's very heavy.
She showed us her monthly wage slip with deductions for welfare, pension and funeral.
The total salary earnings is here 5,052.
This is less than $50 US.
$50 US, no?
Union and government officials are critical of pay and conditions, but are worried about being identified. More than 500,000 Tamils work on the plantations. Until fairly recently, they were stateless people, unable to prove date and place of birth, unable to claim benefits. When asked what she would do if she had enough money, Papati is confused, as if the prospect is beyond belief, which it probably is. Then she answered, "I would use it to educate my grandchildren so they don't have to work in the plantations," she told me. This picture postcard view graces the cover of many guidebooks on Sri Lanka. This one doesn't. And as the tea industry experiences hard times, the story behind the picture is unlikely to change.